I'm a driveway kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
How are you going to ripstick in Boston?
can't ripstick. Here, I tried it.
You hurt yourself, I think.
I did hurt myself. Yeah, the streets are not great.
No.
You know? Good morning, you bad, beautiful bitches. It is Wednesday morning. Wife and I do a little Q&A. We both put a poll up on Instagram. We have a couple hundred questions. We won't get to them all, but we will do some of our favorites.
Yes.
Let's do a little rock, paper, scissors,
We'll
shoot
dig
for
deep.
who goes first.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Cut. Boom.
Fine.
All right, this one's, I guess we'll leave the usernames out. A girl is planning to visit me, but I live 2,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Does this mean she likes me? I think it means murder, Ben. Okay?
I can't even answer this properly. No, she hates you. She just wants to pay all that money.
I had to
for
read this
flight.
question so many times because I was so confused by it. Yeah, 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
That is,
What? Dude, me and you were 50 miles apart, and we were like, wow, that's kind of far.
yeah, Ben, I think she overly loves you. I think you might be on a Netflix documentary soon.
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's
so
tough though. Like you're already starting your relationship long distance, so it's kind of like,
maybe he's in a remote land, you know.
oh,
Like we were just in Sunday River over the weekend.
yeah,
So maybe it's, you know.
yeah. She definitely likes you though. No one's about to do that for.
Oh,
I don't even want to leave my apartment half
Ben,
the
she wants to
time.
wear your skin, I think.
yeah.
Okay.
That's such a funny question.
Yeah, very strange. Take it away. Question 2.
All right. So this one's like about someone said that you always say that you and Kev talked about all the things you shouldn't on your first date. What specifically were they? So this is something that we always talk that we think we progress so quickly. And like we just knew both of us weren't willing to like waste our time in the relationship. So we're like, all right, let's get this out of the way. Let's not like hurt each other. But I think like we talked religion.
Yep.
We talked politics.
Yep.
We literally talked how many kids we want.
A lot of babies.
A lot of people asked you, like, when did you guys know you were each other's, like, you were it? And, like, literally date 1, we were talking marriage together. We were talking moving in together before the first date.
Yeah, that's what was nice about doing a first date at the beach. It was like
Yeah.
an 8-hour-long date.
Yeah.
You know, you and I baking in the sun.
Just everything.
Couple beverages.
Yeah.
Conversations flowing.
I think we talked, like, some traumas. We talked about exes, probably.
Yeah.
Not saying, like, everyone has to do that by any means, but I think the fact that we got everything out in the open, we got so comfortable with each other so quickly, and it really just helped it. And, like, at that point, you can't be heartbroken if, like, maybe, hey... But like if you said something that I'm like, I can't say yes to that, like, all right, it's date 1. Who cares? Just move it on.
Yeah.
It was good.
I think you do. I think rips off the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
You know? I
like
like the
it.
faster you see each other naked, the better.
Kevin.
Well, you know. Anywho. This one's a good one. How do you stop caring about what other people think? I answered this. I pinned it on my Instagram, then saved that response as a video because I heard this. I know I told this to you multiple times. I think about death a lot, and it freaks people out. But it gives me ultimate comfort. And follow me on this because this will hit if you listen to this. The question is, how do you stop caring about what other people think? You're gonna die, which sounds sharp.
Morbid.
Your haters will also die. And then you basically have 1, maybe 2 generations behind you that'll even know you exist. And I'll give you the perfect case study. Tell me about your father's 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 life. Tell me his first name.
Yeah.
I don't even know my father's 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 first name. Right?
Yeah.
Can you name your father's father's first name?
If I had to guess, probably Michael, but no.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what did he like to do? What was he like?
Yeah, I have
Where did
no
he
idea.
work?
Yeah.
I'll take even a vowel. That might have been his name. That's how little we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like to go through your whole life worrying about what other people think when ultimately, you know,
Yeah.
everybody gonna be dead. You know, you might as well do something you want to do
Yeah.
out there. You know, I heard that quote forever ago driving. I had to pull over and like write that down.
Yeah.
It really fucked me up.
You
I was
always
like,
do that. I think mine is like if someone's gonna care more about your life than their own, like that's a them issue, not a you issue.
Totally.
You know, like there was a sound I heard on TikTok, and it was supposed to be about like living your like best life, but when was the last time you saw a random person at a beach and you're like, oof, their belly's hanging out over their pants, and you're still thinking about it to this day?
Right.
No, maybe you said something like in the moment, maybe you noticed some negative things in a moment of any situation, but are you still thinking about it to this day? No.
Right.
So like, I think that's one of the things too. And like, if someone is still thinking about it years later, like you're a bit obsessive. Do you want an autograph? Like what can we do about this? That's a them problem, not a you problem.
Yes. I like that.
So that helps me.
Yeah. I like that.
Not the death thing. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah. The death one's a little, I say sharp because it either freaks people out and they want to run from it. But if you really think about it, it's like.
But it's true.
I find ultimate comfort in that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We're different.
Yeah.
But it's true.
It's like makes us, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, just knowing that gives me so much peace.
I love
like,
that.
oh, yeah, cool. Like, judge all you want.
Yeah.
You know?
I like it. One that I got a lot about us is, it's so funny, this one. What is your recurrent fight about? And then a lot like, how often do we fight? A lot of people said like, it looks like you guys never fight. The recurrent comment though is funny because I'm like, I never said we do have a recurrent fight. Like we actually, I think our entire relationship.
Very assumptive.
Right? We've been together 3.5 years. We've had, I think, one, you can even call it a fight, like an argument. Other than that, I think you and I do such a good job at communicating. And I think at the end of the day, we're very much the same people. And then we complement each other's opposites. Where we are opposite is very complimenting. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong for any other relationship, but I mean, you definitely need to have good communication. And I just think we do. If something bothers me, I tell you. But we're also both so stubborn, but those have never turned into fights.
Yeah. I can't even think of a time when we've.
I know we've had one, but I can't even think of it
till I was like, yeah, I know we've had one, and I was trying to think of it,
but I can't think of what it was.
I think it's because communication is the most important thing.
Yeah,
and you and I are.
From day one,
right?
Yeah,
right. We never raise our voice or yeah.
And I think we both have so much respect for one another that like if something bothered you or something bothered me, like I think our only like, again, it wasn't a fight, but our only time that there was like that disconnect or something was when we went through my finances and I fully spent more than I made, and you were supporting my entire everything I ate, drank, the roof over my head, like everything. And I think that was it, but it wasn't like a fight. That was more like a slap in the face to you. And I was like, shit, I have to like kind of build some trust back.
Yeah. That was hilarious going over your finances for the first time.
Now we can laugh about it.
And I was like, what do you think your biggest expense is? And at the time, she wasn't living with me. And she's like, oh, my rent. Absolutely my rent.
Yeah.
I go, okay, yeah, cool. Let's take out your mobile banking and let's go through each charge.
Yeah.
And it was like $3,500
to Abercrombie.
Yeah. And literally just a couple stores, Target and Abercrombie were the top two.
I basically own stock.
I was like, okay, yeah. So, rent is actually your smallest.
Yeah.
pay. I don't know if I was more shocked or impressed that you were somehow.
I was impressed.
Finding the funds to even spend $3,500 in shopping. But
I know.
Yeah, you're complete 180 now.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Don't currently have too much money to start, but is the flip life the way to go? I also put this on my Instagram a couple nights ago. I love the flip life because it literally costs $0 to enter the game. You don't need a truck. You don't need a storage unit. You search free on Facebook Marketplace. For me, it's always been furniture, right? Couches, sectionals, love seats. But you could, I'm looking around the room, like you could, I'm thinking of a buddy of mine in particular who does exactly what I do, but does it with mirrors because he doesn't have a truck. You could resell mirrors or home decor or baby strollers or baby seats or car parts, sporting equipment, stuff that doesn't need to fit in a storage unit or a truck. Literally, like, turn this podcast off right now and go to Facebook Marketplace and search free and then go pick that item up. You'd be shocked at how fast you can accumulate, some serious dollars, even just in a weekend.
Yeah. Even, I do my clothes.
Oh my God, is that on Poshmark?
It's Poshmark. There's a couple of other apps. I definitely recommend at least using the apps over like just selling it yourself because shipping can get expensive and it's already just factored in with Poshmark.
To put a pin in that one, Flip Life is worth it. I've said this 1,000 times, but paid $60,000 off of student loan debt in 2 years, all from selling furniture. If this dumbass can do it, you can do it.
I also like not to get harsh in that, but and I know this was about Flip Life, but you paid off your debt by flipping. I paid off my debt. I'm not saying this is going to come off wrong and not like trying to like make this conversation about it, but I think people have too much free time.
Totally.
Like I had a job and I got a second form of income to help me pay off my debt. And it's just like, if you have 6 hours every day after your job and both weekend days, and you're complaining, if you're not complaining, fine, but then you're complaining about your debt or not having enough money, go waitress 3 times a week.
Right.
Go find some other thing that's going to bring you in quick cash, and like don't get the quick cash to go spend it elsewhere. Again, if you're complaining, like I feel like both of us get so many comments like, how did you do this? But they're not going to want to fix that problem.
Yeah.
Like we didn't sit on our asses and just do this.
Yeah.
Like we both have worked so hard to both become debt free for our future. If you don't care about being debt free, do whatever you want to do. But I think like a lot of people need to like take a look in and be like, okay, enough of the freaking excuses.
That was a lot of these questions on here.
Yeah.
A lot of these, for the most part, were financial questions, and you're exactly right. The biggest pushback I get with the flip buy stuff is that, let's say you picked up an item and you resold it for, let's say, $100. They'd be like, oh, okay, well, the gas it took and my time is worth more. But then I bet if you did an audit on people's time, that hour or two it took you to flip an item, they're scrolling on TikTok, they're watching Netflix, you know. And I'm victim to that too. I'm not saying I don't do both of those things, but I'm not complaining about.
You got to take an inside look at where it's coming from.
Do it. Stop giving yourself watered down assessments of where you're actually at, because I think a lot of people's time isn't as valuable as they think it is, or if it is, they wouldn't be scrolling on TikTok all day. Or when
people are like, how do Beyonce has way more hours in a day than we do? And I'm like, no, honey.
She ain't. She don't.
I loved this question. It was, what's something that you guys each do to make him or her feel noticed throughout the day?
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that.
Wow. You want to kick that one off?
I think we both do a really great job. Like when I come in or you come in, it's like, how was your day? What did you do? Like kind of run me the day by day. But I think you and I do a really great job at always saying like, I'm so proud of you, or like kind of that reassuring. Because obviously at the end of the day, you know I'm proud of you. You know I'm excited for you. But to actually physically verbalize that and like want to listen to what you have going on, I think goes a long way for you. And you say that often. Like you would always say to me, and you still sometimes say to me, like, don't think compliments are going to make you cocky.
Yeah.
Because I think you didn't really get that in like past relationships. So just to keep like reminding you, like, I am so proud of you. You're doing so great. It's not going to make you cocky. Like you just need that reassurance that like I'm working hard and it's noticed and appreciated. Oh.
I like when we do some sort of like cocktail hour or tea time together. It's like no phones, no TV. Tea time. We went to a boat show recently and bought freaking tea at a boat show, and it's the scrumptious tea. But we've been having it every other night.
You get so excited. You're like, tea? Yes.
It's just so, it seems so like colonial.
Yeah.
You put on the water in a little tea kettle and wait for that thing to whistle, you know?
You love the whistle.
I love that though. Taking out an hour or two, no distractions.
Yeah.
We'll maybe put on a little Netflix fireplace on Chromecast
the
of the
best
TV.
Fireplace. You hear the crackle.
Yeah, and that's just crackling, and we just have whether it's a cocktail or tea or water or whatever.
Who are you kidding by saying?
Yeah.
We have our tea every night.
Yeah. This will be an interesting one, and I'm curious. I'll do my take of this, and then I'm curious, you as a native Bostonian, your take on these.
Oh, Jesus.
Moving to Boston soon, recommendations on where to live. Let me just give you the spark notes of my 2 cents of each neighborhood, and then I'm curious, you as a native. If you are a young professional and you're looking to get banged up every other night, Southie is your go-to spot. You're going to love it. You're going to live on West Broadway there. Loco, Lincoln, Capo, those would be your new homes. You're going to love it. If you're like, I prefer a mink fur and fine wine and meats, you're going to want to go to Seaport. Strut your stuff there on Seaport Boulevard, you know? If you're a family guy or gal, maybe want to slow life down, maybe you got some kids coming, you're going to want to venture over to the North End, a little bit of a slower paced environment. Hanover Street's going to be your night out on the town. You'll see a lot of strollers on Hanover Street. If you're more of a financier or real estateur or sports athlete, West End's going to be your spot, you know? I know people who we will not name that live there, and they love it. They love the West End. West End's great. Home to the No Limits podcast. Is that a fairly good? So now I know I left out your homeland of East Boston, but just I'm thinking of like the young professional that's going to move in here.
Yeah.
You know, what's your thoughts on
I can't put my thoughts. They're going to be way too harsh.
What?
No, I mean, I think you hit it spot on. I think, I don't know. I can't comment.
Okay.
You know, I can't comment on this one.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Got you.
Nope. Oh no, I lost it. How often does Kevin make fun of your accent, as you just did 6 times right there?
I can't. It's like a disease.
I know.
I can't not. There's never been everyone's like, oh, you'll get used to it. You won't. You won't. I thought I would.
Yeah.
I still. And then it's not even me. We were just away with my entire family up at Sunday River for the weekend.
Everybody.
Whether it was her, anytime Ashley would speak, my family would same deal. The Rock's eyebrow.
Yeah.
You know, even the people that we were with at Sunday River. That worked on the marketing team for Sunday River. It was hilarious. Anytime she was like, oh, we're going to go down to Baca, they'd be like, where?
Yep.
What?
It's so funny the amount of people that will meet me for the first time. Like when I was waitressing, Austin, I met like a lot of people there who were like, oh, we thought it looked like you. And we were like, no, that's not her. She wouldn't be like waitressing here. And then all of a sudden I would talk and they're like, it is you. And like a lot of people always said like, we honestly, I mean, we don't get that comment as much anymore. But in the beginning, we got a lot of people who always said it was fake. It was an act. It was just for this. And I think from one, people meeting me, but also just seeing it on you like 3.5 years later, still there's certain things I say. Like you have a notes app.
I do.
Of words that always just like make you laugh. So yeah, constantly.
Yeah. I think the most recent note on there is you said, was it tire iron?
Tie iron?
Yeah, that was what it was. Or that one, and then I recently put barbed wire.
Barbed wire, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I forget why. In both of those, I'm pretty sure I said those in like the same sentence for some reason. You're like, hold on.
Yeah.
Where were we? Oh.
Same iron. We were walking along the fence at the airport.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, there's a tire iron next to the barbed wire. Would you want to venture to try that sentence?
What? Right now? There's a tire iron next to the barbed wire. In St. Martin.
Okay, moving on. How did you guys pay off debt quickly? Currently struggling with the water crying emoji. We should do like a course, like not a paid anything, just like a free course to break this down. Finance is really complicated until you really dumb it down. And for my dumb ass, you got to dumb it down. You either have an income problem or a debt problem or both. And when you and I first met, you were a good healthy mix of both.
Thanks.
And it just all that means is you spend $0. You have 0 spend days. Right? And you try to, whether it's the job you're at or maybe it's time to pivot career-wise, you find the next move that'll bring you in a little more income. Maybe you start flipping yourself. And we're still going to continue the pattern of 0 spend days. 0 spend days literally means we're not spending $1 the entire day. Like I know when we first met, the first quote that really freaked me out that you said was, I love the feeling of swiping my card or putting my card down on the chip reader. And
that was second date, and we were in your kitchen with your mom and Colleen. And I remember, well, they didn't say it obviously at the time because I just met them, but like months go by or whatever, and we all get like really comfortable with each other. And they were like, we can remember that. And we were like, this is not going to work out.
Yeah. Because I was like starting my career and also having 0 spend days. And then my now wife is like, I just love swiping that card. I want to break my card in half and swiping it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you start to compound those 0 spend days on trying to find new revenue streams, whether it's Flip Life or maybe you're, uploading videos to the internet and getting paid off the ad revenue from that, or maybe you're going to your boss and trying to get a raise. Maybe if there's no growth in your current company, you're going to pivot and try to find a new company to work for. There was a video. I got to find the video. They were saying, which I love, because it's our parents' generation that say you got to stay at a job for at least a year because it looks good on your resume and you can't leave. And before that, they're going to think you're not pot committed. I heard this girl on the internet. She changed our jobs every 6 months and almost doubled her income every career move.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
And now you can do that because it's not our parents' day and age. You have options. You have unlimited options. I remember my own father worked at Digital out of college, And my mother's father said to my dad, "This is great. You're going to work here the rest of your life." Like, you would never hear that sentence anymore, you know?
I mean, even since you and I have met, I've had 10 jobs.
Yeah.
But, and I know, like, it took me a while, and still there's, like, certain days where I always, like, feel so guilty. And I'm like, how embarrassing. And you're like, it's not embarrassing. You paid off $60K in debt. Like, I didn't have any of that when we first met.
Right.
Well, I had $60K in debt when we first met.
She
So,
did.
like, I think it's, like, getting rid of that stigma. But this is a post that I'm going to make, because I do think that for me, coming from being a big spender, all that stuff, like, I can really help. But I think a lot of people, again, if you don't care about your debt, if you're content with where you are, or if you have no debt and you're good, like, this isn't for everyone. However, if you're reaching out for help, please understand, for the most part, I'm not saying every life, but, like, this was me, and for most people, at least the people that I know who are reaching out to me for help, you're the problem. And I think people just need to get over that. Yes, it is effed up how expensive college is and how expensive life is, but that's not going to change. And you crying about it and complaining about it, it's not going to change. So you got to figure it out.
Right.
Like, enough of it. So you are the problem. I always told myself, like, I deserve this, or, like, I should do this, and, like, if she can do it, why can't I do it? Or, like, oh, whatever, I can just pay the minimums, and everyone has debt. And that was one thing you taught me, is, like, let's stop normalizing that everyone has debt, because there's actually a large percentage of people who are living better than us who don't have debt. So it is possible. And, like, again, if you're content with where you are, that's fine. But if you're like, why can't I pay this off? And then you're out spending $300 at the same bar every Saturday night, let's reevaluate.
100%.
Like, come on.
I love that. Was that your last question or my question?
That was your question. I got a lot of questions asking, do you want to raise your family in Boston? And do you ever see yourself leaving Boston? And all I have to say to that is, I wish we left Boston 3 years ago. So yes, we're leaving Boston. No, we're not raising our family here. I have a different take on this, which is why you were saying this earlier. I grew up right in the city, and I loved my childhood. I loved growing up in the city. It taught me so much. I would not be the human I am today without it. But Boston has changed so much. And I have a different respect and appreciation for this city than anyone moving in. I think a lot of people who moved in had the greatest experience, and I'm so happy for them. And people are able to, like, bounce their careers off here, which is fabulous. And, like, I love the opportunities Boston gives it. But I grew up in small town Boston, not the big city Boston. So I would want my kids to have the same experience that I did, and they're not going to. So we're excited
what's small town Boston versus big city Boston?
Small town Boston is, like, it's safe. Everyone knows everyone. You can just, like, I was able to just, like, walk around by myself, and, like, everyone was looking out for you, and everyone knew each other, and everyone was from here. Everyone sounded the exact same way that I do. The only reason people think my accent is so insane now is because no one else in Boston sounds like me, because everyone moved out. Because politics got in the way. And again, like, places are supposed to grow. It is a city. So, like, I think it's awesome what Boston has grown into, but again, it's not my home.
Yeah.
And the way I always say it to people is, like, imagine, say you grew up in why can't they, Lowell. I don't know why Lowell came to mind, but say you grew up in Lowell, and all of a sudden Lowell became the city that every single person's moving into. It's no longer your home. Suddenly, like, your coffee shop isn't your coffee shop anymore. And that's just what happened to Boston. And hey, again, that's great for Boston. That's great for everyone else, but it's not home to me anymore. I, like, don't recognize the city, and that's why we won't be staying here.
We also like some land, you know?
Yeah, I also need a walk-in closet.
Yeah, you know?
I want a window overlooking my, like, kitchen sink.
You want that old tub with it's got claws
the
for
notebook
feet.
tub.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
At
we
night
definitely
it comes
want
alive,
a lot more.
like very Beauty and the Beast.
I want a reading nook. Right now I had to get a Kindle, which I love my Kindle, but literally because Boston's so small that you can't have a Beauty and the Beast library. Yeah, I need a library.
Yeah. I like that.
So, but that's my personal touch on it. And then for you, you missed that driveway life.
Oh, I love the drive. I'm a driveway kid.
Yeah.
Oh.
How are you going to ripstick in Boston?
Can't ripstick. Here, I tried it.
You hurt yourself, I think.
I did hurt myself. Yeah, the streets are not great.
No.
You know? Here's an interesting one. How do you know if a guy is taking advantage of you?
If you have to ask that question, he is. Honey.
Yeah, okay. Wow, I'm shocked you went there. Yes.
Yeah. a lot of these questions that people are like, oh, how do you know if he just isn't into you? He's not then.
Yeah.
Because you were almost so into me that I like would have to like stop answering some of your texts sometimes. Not in a negative way. I'm just saying like, but that's how it should be. Like it should be like, oh wow, like I know how he feels.
Yes.
We're way too old to be playing these like too cool for school.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I think if like I never once thought you were, I don't know what you'd be taking advantage of, but I'm someone with the debt here. But I never had a once asset. And then now vice versa. I don't think whenever people used to say to you, like, I was using you for your money.
Yeah.
Like, you never once thought that.
Well, I think you and I talk this all the time. I think most people in relationships think that to provide for each other is financially.
Yeah.
Meaning both parties have to come to the table and give money
equally, and
equally. Yeah, like
equally
we're gonna split rent or something. And I said to you from day one, like just being old school, my role as a guy is to cover the expenses. The rent, the bills, the utility, Wi-Fi, right? And yours as kind of the CHO, chief heart officer of the home, is to make the house a home.
Right.
Yeah,
and we talked about like is that what we both wanted? Because like other people don't want that. For me, that's what I've always wanted. I've always, even growing up, I was always like mom to all my friends.
Yeah.
I wanted to like, I get so mad when you make your own yogurt bowls at night. I'm like, that's my job.
I do try to make my own yogurt bowls and get scolded.
But I think exactly like I think that if you have bad communication, you're going to get taken advantage of. You and I never felt that way because we laid out our roles and what we want our roles to be. Some people don't want to be the CHO. I don't want to pay a bill. Yeah. And it's not that I don't want to selfishly not include in that way. It's just like my passions are different than your passions. Right. You love to do that. Yeah, totally. So yeah, we already know that.
And that both those roles are still 50-50.
Oh yeah.
Like I think, and you and I talk about this all the time, and sometimes we still fall victim to it. Like you'll think that since I'm covering the expenses, that all of a sudden it's still not 50-50. Yeah. But it is. Like in my mind and heart and soul, it is that is still a 50-50. And then once you're married, it's not like my money is just my money and it's trapped somewhere. Like that, what I bring in is still equally yours. Yeah. We're married. We're not a partnership or an LLC or a C Corp. Like it is still very much our, like it's our income. It's our bills, I'm handling that side of the business here. But that's what a marriage is all about. Right. Yeah. Look at us communicating.
I love us.
Yeah. Jeez.
Let's see. What else do we have? What's your favorite memory with each other?
Oof. Favorite memory?
I know.
That's tough.
This was actually kind of like one of your favorite memories for a while. I know that I'm like, it's just something that always I think of. And it sounds so silly, but literally just like when we nap on the couch in the middle of the day, but we don't mean to be. We're just like, we just knock out. It's like so, it's so like removed. It's just like the world's not there. Yes. That sounds so silly, but you and I are very simple people that people don't, I think, always realize. And I just love those simple things.
I think most recently you skiing, like to see a city girl go from
first person East Boston ever.
Literally the first person we have to go door knocking in East Boston and see if anyone skis. Yeah. I think you're spot on. First person in East Boston to ever ski is Ashley D'Amato Cooney. That's pretty crazy. Yep. And to see you go from the winters in New England are long, dark and cold. And if you can get out there and ski, it breaks up the winter. So it's a Tony Robbins line. Some people freeze in the winter and die, others ski. Yeah. It's about like being prepared and prepped and stuff. And for you to go from not knowing how to ski whatsoever to now learning to ski at Sunday River and then conquering that entire mountain. She's better than I am. It was almost that might be our first fight. I was like, oh my God, she's good.
You could tell no one was happy about it because we were all preparing for like just hilarious content. And I was like, I can do a double black and a double black.
Yeah. I had camera rolling, GoPro, and drone up above to capture every crash Ashley had. And there wasn't a one. Yeah. I think you spilled maybe twice. I dumped more than you did. Yeah. Yeah. So to see you I think as you get older, you rarely unlock new skills. And for you at, the the ripe age you are now to unlock skiing was like so cool. And now it's just another thing that, you know.
Yeah. Now we get to teach our kids it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. There's a lot of.
Do you want to hear this funny assumption it's just funny to me that the way people like will look at people and then think of things. Mm-hmm. The assumption was that I'll eat and try anything, but Kevin's the picky eater.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was someone's assumption?
Yeah. I just found it funny that so we both eat literally anything to walk on this planet, but I think it's just, I love that, like, as humans, we can all just look at one another and, like, make silly assumptions like that. Mm-hmm. And I, like, wonder why and, like, where it comes from. You know what I mean?
We are both garbage disposals.
Yeah, literally. Your mom kept commenting on that this weekend. She's like, wow, Kevin, your wife can eat.
She would, Ashley, almost every other run, skiing, would put down a waffle. I'd be like, where's Ashley? Because the lift lines were crazy long. Homegirl's drizzling chocolate syrup on another waffle and then just one touching these waffles. I couldn't believe it.
I'm Italian.
Yeah. There's a lot of like finance ones. And then the ones I'm seeing too are like all like, how do I know he's the one?
Oh, and lots of those.
Yeah. Those, or how did we meet?
My favorite one, I think, was when we move out of the city, are we going to get a dog?
Love dogs. Love dogs. I had a dog growing up. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Joey. He was a beagle. That boy ruined our house. When he's a puppy, they're peeing and pooping everywhere. And beagles are very unruly. He was chewing through doors, wooden doors he would chew through, just for fun.
Yeah.
And then he was good for like his young adult life. Mm-hmm. And then as they get older, he's back to pooping and peeing.
Right.
We had to replace carpeting, floors. There was a mold issue because we didn't know he'd pee in like a back left corner of some room.
Yeah.
He let that go for 10 years, you know?
I think for me, like, I'll take full responsibility on it. Like, I'm just not a pet person. And I think, so have you ever met people, like, I have a couple of friends who they're like, I love babies, other people's babies. I want to play with them and then send them home. Mm-hmm. That's how I kind of feel about all pets.
Right.
Like, and like, hey, if there's nothing wrong with people not wanting kids, like, I'm okay not having a pet. Like, I think your dog is beautiful.
Right.
Love your dog. It's not coming into my house.
Yeah.
Simply, like, just that.
Here's the biggest thing I've realized being in Boston. When there's a hot take, control your dog when we're in the elevator. Okay?
If one more wet piss paw touches my leg in an elevator, I swear to God.
You're in this small elevator and this thing is jumping all over you and the owner's like, they're friendly, don't worry. And I'm like, I could give a rap. I'm about to like choke the...
Yeah.
Like, don't do the squeak, Kevin. Do the squeak. Get your dog under control in the elevator.
People think that just because like they love their dog doing that we do. There was one lady who I had to verbally be like, you need to get off this elevator, because she was holding it up because her dog it wasn't on a leash and wouldn't come on the elevator. So she was holding it open. She's like, he's so silly. And I was like, I have to piss, Lauren.
Right.
Leave.
Right.
I gotta go home.
It's
the owner's.
Kosher if the dog pees on you, but if I whip it out and pee on the dog, now it's a big issue. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, hey, I'm not turning it down. This is like the way I've always been for 29 years. But I mean, you never know. Like, I know a lot of people like, I'll never get a pet. And then they have 3 kids and they're done having kids. And then like now their kids are asking for a dog. Like, I'm not saying like we'll never get to that situation, but I just think that you and I don't want them right now. But your dog's cute. That's fine.
Yeah. How's your kid?
Happy for you.
All right, cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up Ashley and Kevin's questionnaire on the No Limits podcast. Leave us a review wherever you're listening to this podcast. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, wherever that may be. And then be on the lookout. We do these questionnaires on Instagram stories whenever we drop them.
Yeah.
These questions will air. We'll pick the best ones to air for the next episode.
Yeah, and gets not spicy, but like...
A little spicy!
Yeah.
Add a little spice. Hugs and kisses, gang. Love ya.